Hey guys, we've got a quite high-end Lenovo ThinkPad P52 laptop here with us today. This video is just to give you a better idea what it's like to use, and especially if you're coming from the P50 or P51. Okay, just a small confession. So this we haven't really scripted this video, so do excuse me if I go on a little bit too long. Okay, one of the first interesting thing to I think is if you're coming from any of the recent models, now you finally have the option for the 6-core CPU, so that's really quite nice. 6-core and 12 threads. We've been at the 4-core laptop, mainstream laptops for almost 10 years now, so it's really nice to finally get more power. We'll come back to heat later. So the memory also gets a slight boost in support. So it's now you can finally order this laptop with 120 gig of RAM, 128 gig of RAM. So that's quite a notable amount. Just to say, it's really not cheap if you order it today. So it might actually be more sensible to get, let's say, 16 gig of or 32 gig of single stick RAM and upgrade it yourself later. And I think 2 of the sticks are more easily accessible under the back cover. Okay, third interesting thing is this particular laptop, finally 15.6-inch laptop. Quite interestingly, it supports the 3000 series Quadro graphics now, so that's additional option. And I think the P2000 is quite high end anyway, but the P3200 is like a 1060 equivalent, so it's a slightly more memory, etc. It totally depends on your usage. Okay, if we look back for a second, this particular screen, it's the Full HD IPS screen, so it's quite nice color, and obviously Lenovo gives you the option for the 4K screen as well. For that particular one, it's not cheap to upgrade to that. I mean, personally, I would think it might even be more cost effective to stick with the IPS Full HD one and just get an external screen, because also sometimes if that option is feasible, then you have more, you can more easily calibrate external screens to your liking. I generally find. Okay, and looking sideways slightly, the keyboard, it's really quite it's usual ThinkPad quality keyboard, and having used the MacBook Pro 2016 with the butterfly keyboard for a week just now, this is really nice. It's wow, finally some key travel, and I think the speaker hasn't really changed much from the P50, P51. There is the Dolby support, etc. I think it's quite nice, but again, it's just manage expectation. It's workstation laptop, so it might not give you the best audio experience, let's say, that XPS or Asus ZenBook Pro might give you, but it's I mean, it's probably adequate. I think that's the term, or sufficient. Okay, the thing that we probably want to take a look at is actually the effects of having more power in this laptop. So looking at this particular chassis, so Lenovo hasn't really changed the cooling that much. So we haven't done anything heavy, but I think you already can see a 96 degrees. We've definitely seen a higher high 90s running the Windows update. But I mean, in our opinion, it's not really something to worry about as long as you have decent Lenovo warranty for your peace of mind. And if the temperature creeps up slightly, then it will just throttle down at some point later. And I think having that warranty and peace of mind, I think that's a more important thing. If it becomes a bother at some point in the future, I mean, you can always contact Lenovo support. They can probably repaste it or look at it for you. Obviously, don't do the repasting yourself, because I mean, generally that tends to avoid the warranty. Okay, so the processor, I think it's one of those interesting topics, because Intel in the more recent days have been using more aggressive turbo boost. So this particular chip can go up to 4.4 gigahertz. So if you put it on high performance mode, put it on AC plugged in, then it can often go up quite high. And I guess in terms of the average sustained loaded performance is probably quite a bit slower than the peak performance. But again, it's one of the thermal things. You finally have 6-core more power, but I guess the trade-off is slightly on the temperature side. And I think in terms of the other things to note, is that you do finally have the, or you have this particular option, the webcam privacy filter. I think it's quite nice. Instead of having to masking tape the sort of top of it, which looks, elegant. Battery-wise, I think go in probably, this is 90 watts hour battery, but probably best to go in with managed expectation in terms of what you can reasonably expect, because if you have 6 cores running at full performance, then it's really not going to give you that much battery life. I'm not sure if you can see that, but let me change the screen brightness a little bit. If you run heavier stuff, then obviously battery life goes down quite substantially. Okay, as usual, the hinge for ThinkPad is quite solid, so that's quite a nice touch. You don't really have to worry that much. The only tip probably today is, if you were to get this machine, is think of the warranty. I think ThinkPad warranty tends to be really good. Where possible, maybe get it slightly longer. It sometimes is a little bit cheaper to get it at upfront if you go for a slightly longer warranty. It's just peace of mind. And I think, yes, the processor on laptops tend to run hotter, I think, in the recent years, but I think as long as you're covered for the machine itself, it's not really something to be too concerned about. I mean, it's obviously, if you run sort of benchmark all day synthetic workload, I mean, that's, yeah, you will see high temperature, but with that representative of workload, that's really up to you to sort of have a think about. And another tip might be just to get yourself a decent padded laptop bag, so once you're sort of done with it on a desk, like when you unlink it, etc., put it in, and that way you don't have to worry about dropping it or scratching it, etc. It's just when it's quite a solid workstation, you don't want it to be scratched. We haven't really talked about the Precision or the ZBook alternatives, but I think we tend to generally find that the people who like ThinkPad tend to like ThinkPad, tend to upgrade to ThinkPad, vice versa for the ZBook. So we'll probably come back to those newer products in another video. Anyway, we hope this has been helpful, and any question, just give us a message. We'll be happy to reply in the comments. And if you can, do give us a subscribe. That'd be really appreciated. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.